jakamaan oikeutta maailmanmestaruuskilpailujen vuonna 1983 viimeisessä ottelussa pelissä numero 40. Jossa vastakkain ovat juuri jäälle saapuva Neuvostoliitto, joka tänään pelaa tuossa tutuissa punaisessa peliasussaan, ja Kanada. Nämä kaksi maata, jotka ovat maailmanmestaruuskilpailujen historiana kaikista menestyksekkäimmät maat. Kanadahan on pystynyt 19 kertaa kirjauttamaan nimensä maailmanmestariksi, kun kansainvälinen jääkiekkoliitto joitakin aikoja takaperin on saanut vastuunalaisen tehtävän toimia pääoikeuden jakajana tässä kamppailussa. Ja niin kuin tuossa jo päivän ensimmäisessä ottelussa kerroin, Neuvostoliiton maalivahti Vladislav Tretjak, Neuvostoliiton puolustajat Vyacheslav Fetisov, peli numero 2, Aleksei Kasatonov, peli numero 7, ja hyökkäysketju Vladimir Krutov, 9, Igor Larionov, 11 ja Sergei Makarov, 24. Daryl Sittler oli siinä kanadalaisista aloittamassa. Neuvostoliitto voitti tuon aloituksen ja sieltä tulee Makarov heti läpi. Rika Uэмсли kuitenkin torjuu. Hartsberg nostaa Daryl Sittlerille. Sittler saa kiekon, antaa sinne maalin edustalle, mutta neuvostoliittolaispuolustus on tarkkana. Vauhtia tässä on heti alkuhetkestä lähtien melkoisesti. Juhola seurasi tarkkaavaisesti tuossa aivan lähellä ja hän näki, että kiekko oli pelattavissa. Näin hän ei katkaissut peliä eikä tuostakaan synny pitkää. Ensimmäistä erää on pelattu nyt 52 sekuntia. Varsin pitkä vaihto siis. Kumpikaan joukkue ei ole lennostakaan vaihtanut kenttäpelaajia. Krutov antoi siinä Larionoville. Kanadalaiset yrittävät tavoitella John Andersonia, joka käyttää mailaansa melko reipasotteisesti. Sitten Krutov, Fetisov.
Krutov circling around, number 9 for the Soviets. Got it to the line, helped out there by Helmut Balderas, number 19. Both teams at full strength. There's no score in the first minute of play here at the Olympia Halle in Munich, West Germany. Canada and the Soviet Union. Marcel Dion clears it down the ice into the Soviet zone, going back for it. Pervukin behind his own net, bumped by Bob Gainey. The pass comes to Shapaliev on the right side. Full strength. The Soviets win today. They have the gold medal. If Canada wins, Canada will have a silver. Maruk trying to get a pass to Gartner on the right side. That's intercepted. Vasiliev in a shot. And Uэмсли makes a big glove save there on a point-blank shot from Vasiliev. Doug Hallward comes in now for Canada. His pass intercepted by Vladimir Zubkov. Zubkov circling just outside his own blue line. In forechecking is Paul Reinhardt for Team Canada. Slukov, number 22, in his own zone. Now the Soviets bring it out. Fetisov trying to get that clearing pass. It was knocked down, brought in by Sportsev. Sportsev with Gamayev, takes it in behind the Team Canada net. Sportsev drops it back. Fetisov into the corner, getting set. Gamayev shot. And Uэмсли stops that. Reinhardt trying.
Sidler, Anderson ja sitten siellä on Brian Kropp. Siinä kanadalaisten ketju puolustuksessa Engblom, jolla kiekko ja toisena puolustajana Scott Stevens. Neuvostoliitolla ykkösketjunsa jäällä ja siinä tulee Kanadan avaus, maali, aivan kuin
right from the face-off, Team Canada has scored. 1-0 for Canada. John Anderson parks in front of Tretjak, and Canada gets the opening goal of the game, Ron.
All right, here it is, dug out. It comes out in front of the net. Anderson's there, and hits the post and is dribbled into the net. And that was it. Anderson has put Canada in front. It's the one thing that Canada felt it had to do. Get in front of the Soviet Soviet Union and see if they can get them off their game. That's Trot going in against the board. The puck comes out in front, and there's Anderson as the defense got caught running around a little bit, and Verhoeven, number 5, unable to make the check. Canada in front, 1-0 here.
John Anderson of the Toronto Maple Leafs gets the goal, and the assist goes to Brian Propp of the Philadelphia Flyers. 1-0 for Team Canada. A win today for Canada would give them a silver medal. Now the play broken up. Comes outside the Soviet blue line, then brought back in by number 9, Vladimir Krutov. And can he dance on skates? Krutov over the Team Canada line. Swings around. Scott Stevens still has it, a shot. And the backhand drive is stopped by Rika Uэмсли. Now it's slapped up over the boards into the Team Canada bench and out of play.
Well, the feeling was going into this game that Team Canada would have to do things such as freezing the puck against the boards, icing the puck, dumping it in, that sort of thing, to try and break up the flow.
Siinä kanadalaisten ketju vastassaan heillä Neuvostoliiton Mihailev, ja sieltä pääsee tulee laukaisemaan, vetää kuitenkin ohi. Mihailevin lisäksi Neuvostoliiton ketjussa luistelevat Vitkov ja sitten oikeassa laidassa.
This is Bernie Pascal along with Ron Rouge back at Munich, West Germany, Canada. Here's Dennis Baruch getting set. Goulet's shot, and Tretiak stopped that. With Team Canada in front of the Soviets 1-0 on a goal by John Anderson. The Soviets bring it back. Vasiliev over the Team Canada line, drops it in front. What a glorious scoring opportunity there for the Soviets, but the shot just went wide off the stick of Maltsev. Doug Hallward inside his own line for Team Canada. He's on defense with Craig Hartsburg. Number 5 got it outside the blue line and down the ice into the Soviet zone. Kazatonov, number 7, backhands it. That's intercepted. Here's Reinhardt, a shot. That goes wide of goaltender Tretiak. Kept in at the line. Now it's cleared out to the center ice area. Maruk slaps at it. A delayed offside, but the Soviets get possession. Here's a break over the line. Gamayev almost got in there. Canada.
Well, Team Canada in the game in the first part of the tournament lost 8-2, got behind the Soviets. At the end of the first period, it was 4-1 Soviets. 3 power play goals as Canada ran into penalty trouble in that first period. They can't afford to get them against the power play of the quality of the Soviet team. They are just awesome when they start moving that puck around on the power play. So now Canada stuck with trying to get the power play, or at least the penalty-killing unit there. As you look at Fetisov, one of the great defensemen, player of the year in the Soviet Union 2 years ago.
Krutov against Daryl Sittler, and Sittler backhands the puck down into the Soviet zone. Canada leading 1-0 on a first period goal here by John Anderson, and we played 6 minutes, 52 seconds. Makarov, he steers it into the corner, and what a line this has been for the Soviets. Krutov, Larionov, and Makarov, but again it's broken up, and Reinhardt shoots it down the ice into the Soviet zone. Czechoslovakia earlier today defeated Sweden by a score of 4-1. Larionov takes it inside the line, into the corner, setting up now for the Soviets. Krutov trying to get it with Makarov. It comes back to the line. Fetisov, a shot, and that was low and just missed by inches. Kazatonov gets it back to Fetisov. Fetisov to the side of the net. Larionov trying to get it to Makarov. That's knocked down. Fetisov has it again. Fetisov, number 2, gives it to Larionov. Back to Fetisov. Over to Kazatonov. His shot, and that goes wide. Team Canada, a man short here. The Soviets trailing by 1. Larionov. Kazatonov, a shot, hit his own teammate in front, and it shot down the ice. Some excellent penalty killing by Team Canada. 39 seconds left in the penalty to Gord Shervin. Soviet coming back. Over the line is Kapustin. Kapustin checked momentarily, gets it in front. Makarov getting set now on the power play. Canada doing an excellent job of bottling them up. Babinov feeds it into the corner. Shepelev looking for someone to pass it to. Back to Babinov. Babinov steers it over, and it's out. Verhoeven couldn't keep it in. 10 seconds left in the penalty. Here comes Shepelev. He drops it over to Kapustin. Shepelev heads for the front of the net. Has it again. Cleared it in front. and the backhand shot by Kapustin goes wide. Shervin is back on the ice. There's a drive. Walmsley makes the save, and Canada.
Kaveri lyö kuitenkin hanskansa sinne kiekon päälle. Numerot 0-0, 8:45 ensimmäistä erää pelattu ja numerot tietysti 1-0 Kanadan hyväksi. Mutta 0-0 tuon 2-minuuttisen aikana, jonka Kanada siis selviytyi tuosta alivoimatilanteestaan. Shepelev siellä valmiina jo aloitukseen ja siinä on Makarov hoidossa. Zubkov.
Right from the face-off, that shot on goal, stopped by goaltender Wick Walmsley, and comes back now to Vladimir Zubkov. In his own zone, number 3 for the Soviets, trying to get a pass and succeeds on that right side. Coming up over the line, Gamayev in front, Vasiliev trying to get a shot, he scores! Vasiliev picked up the rebound off the stick of James Patrick, and the Soviets come back to tie it.
Well, the secret of being able to control the puck in your skate, you'll see a perfect example of it here as the puck comes in from the shot from the blue line. That is number 2 there is Doug Hallward. Here comes the shot. Now watch Vasiliev, number 6 in front of the net. He'll get a cut in his skates and then pull the trigger. Here it comes. Puck is loose, and there it is, into the net. And Vasiliev, who had a great chance at the 3-minute mark on Walmsley, comes up with a goal here.
Well, Patrick had a piece of him in front. The one drive was stopped by Patrick, and then Vasiliev capitalizing on that loose puck, and he ties it up. Vasiliev with Zubkov and Maltsev getting assists. Another shot on goal, and Walmsley stops that. Charlie Zimmer, number 22, a pass ahead. Marcel Dion to center ice. Fedosov trying to get to it. He passes on the right wing. Here's Alexander Maltsev, the veteran. Maltsev heading for the front of the net. He's all tied up there, the pass. Right in front, Fedosov got a piece of it, and it's deflected wide. Maltsev has spun around, lost his helmet in the Team Canada zone. Then
Juhola on ottanut tiukan linjan. Poikittainen maila, 2 minuuttia. Ja siinä hän kopauttaa sitten vielä tuohon jäähyaition pleksiinkin tullessaan sisään. Mikään ei kuitenkaan auta. Ja Reinhardt käy siellä vähän rauhoittelemassa Scott Stevensia. Hän on Washington Capitalsin miehi.
The goal mouth, he cleared him out of there, but at the same time knocked him off his feet.
Now the puck comes back to the captain of the Soviets, number 2, Fedosov. Has it right in front of Vladislav Tretiak. Beats a pass to Makarov. Here's Makarov, the speedster, to Larionov. Back to Kazatonov, number 7. Kazatonov gives it to Larionov. Return pass. Now it's fed over to the far side. Having trouble with it there is Fedosov. Still got it in front. Here's Kazatonov, a shot. And it just rolls wide of goaltender Walmsley. Larionov along the boards, number 11 for the Soviets. Watched by Daryl Sittler. He gets it over to Kazatonov. Soviets on the power play, a 1-1 tie here in the first period. Into the corner, Larionov trying to get it in front, and Makarov is flattened at the side of the Team Canada goal. 1:08 remaining in the penalty to Scott Stevens. Here's a breakdown for Canada. Reinhardt in front. Anderson scores! Scott Anderson!
Batted it in, I think.
And the referee is saying no goal. Anderson standing in front. The referee, Juhola from Finland, is saying no goal.
And he is under a lot of pressure. The referee in this game is Pertti Juhola of Finland. The linesmen, Bert Snyder and Heribert, both of West Germany. Let's take a look at it. Number 12 is Anderson. Here comes the play. And the shot will come in, and it'll bounce high in the air off the chest protector of Tretiak. There it is. Up. And did he bat it? You're darn right he did.
Oh, he batted it. Good replay. Alan Eagleson is right down at the timekeeper's bench. He's furious. I don't think there's much question on that replay, though, Ron. It was directed with his left glove into the net.
Well, Eagleson is now forcibly being ushered, as you see there, away from the timekeeper's bench. But close to a short-handed goal, but you have to use your stick.
So 1:02 remains in the penalty to Scott Stevens of Canada. Anderson had scored the first goal for Team Canada. A 1-1 tie. We played 11 minutes and 41 seconds here in the opening period. If the Soviets win today, they get a gold medal. If Canada wins, Canada will have a silver. If they tie, Czechoslovakia will get the gold, and Canada would end up with a bronze. So there are many possibilities. As of now, Czechoslovakia is in first place in the medal round with 5 points, following a 4-1 win a couple of hours ago over Sweden. In forechecking there for Canada is John Anderson. Soviets winding up in their own zone on this power play, and the pass comes to Pervukin. 27-year-old defenseman hammered against the boards. Puck goes in. Icing will be called against the Soviets, and it's not often you see them ice the puck when they have a power play.
Well, Canada is really putting the pressure on physically here. There's a hard check thrown out in the center ice area on Shepelev, and that one they're starting to pay the price a little bit. And, you know, if you're being hit just as you're getting the puck, sometimes that kind of pressure just completely disrupts your play. As a matter of fact, normally it does. As we look at a close-up there of Sergei Starikov, number 12 for the Soviets.
Pair of number 27s taking the face-off there, Bikov and Sittler. And it's Team Canada's Craig Hartsburg deep in his own zone, slaps it off the board. Brian Propp, long shot. And it's a save off Tretiak as he came away out of the Soviet net to steer that shot to the corner. Vladimir Zubkov gets it ahead to Vasiliev, who has scored the Soviets' goal in this game. And they're forced back into their own zone with 6 seconds left in the minor penalty to Scott Stevens. Bikov at center now for the Soviets. Vasiliev on the left wing. Stevens is back on the ice. Canada successfully killing off that penalty, and it'll be icing right here, and we'll be right...
For the Oshawa of the Soviet Union outside of Moscow, Swartsov comes over every few times a week to practice with the games against Czechoslovakia, and then this one. He is just, if anything, he's better than he ever was.
Darryl Sittler out there with John Anderson and Brian Propp for Team Canada. Hallward and Hartsburg are on defense. The Soviets bringing it in. Balderas drops it there. Here's a chance for Zubkov. Rolls in front, back to the line, and fanning on the shot was Starikov. Anderson slaps it behind the net. Doug Hallward of the Vancouver Canucks, he clears it ahead. Brian Propp of the Philadelphia Flyers, number 26, the teammate Darryl Sittler, who fires it in behind the Soviet net. As we approach the 15-minute mark here in the opening period, a 1-1 tie, Canada and the Soviets. The puck comes to Balderas at center. Brought up over the line, trailing on it is Kapustin, got a shot, and Hallward took him out of the play and slaps it ahead to Brian Propp. Puck rolling into the Soviet zone. Zubkov back for it there. In forechecking for Canada, Gord Shervin, who played with North Dakota in the collegiate ranks in the U.S. this season. Scott Stevens, the outstanding defenseman with the Washington Capitals, member of the Kitchener Memorial Cup champions last year. Dave Taylor shoots it into the corner. Zubkov gets to it first, and the Soviets come racing right back again. Bikov up over the line, drops it there, and it's intercepted by Scott Stevens. Up with Paul Reinhardt. Reinhardt spun around, couldn't get the pass. Stevens runs into Kazatonov, and it comes around the boards to Vasiliev. Vasiliev had trouble with Fedosov there, his teammate. Engblom drops it over on the far side to Scott Stevens. 4 minutes and 55 seconds left to play. Or 3:55. Now the Soviets coming in over the line. It's knocked against the boards, and Shervin got it out to the center ice area where Fedosov has it. He was an all-star at the World Junior Championships in '79, and what a great defenseman he's turned out to be for the Soviets. Fedosov, number 2. Reinhardt inside the line, getting set. I think he thought he was offside. Gainey's drive, and that's stopped by Tretiak. Reinhardt seemed to put on the brakes a little there, figuring that perhaps there'd be an offside whistle, but that was not the case. And Gainey let a shot go that Tretiak had to be sharp on. Now the puck comes to the center ice area. Cleared in by Tim Waters of the Winnipeg Jets. Waters wearing number 8. Sure, his family in Kamloops, British Columbia, watching this telecast today as well. Here's a chance for the Soviets. Fortsev in there with Bikov. He's spun around. And the puck is brought out by Charlie Zimmer. Zimmer gives it to Marcel Dion. He shoots it into the Soviet zone. Tretiak knocked it in behind the net. Loose puck, and it's brought out by the Soviets once again. Sportsev on the right side. Maltsev, the veteran, 34 years of age, number 10, is checked off the puck. It's backhanded into the Soviet zone, held there with Prop heading for the front of the net. Patrick trying to get a piece of it there. In behind the net is Pervukin, number 5. Good check handed out there by Team Canada player Anderson. And it's held, and we'll have a face-off and more in just a moment.
Kimaev. Pervukin puhaltaa peli poikki. James Patrick tulee Pohjois-Dakotan yliopistosta. Hän on myöskin ollut yliopistojen välisessä All-Stars-ottelussa tällä kaudella mukana. Ja Maltsev, 34-vuotias.
Back to the action here at the Olympia Halle in Munich, West Germany. Hartsburg takes a swing at Larionov as Larionov's stick was high. Zubkov cleared it into the corner. Sittler after it there. Prop got a piece of it, but he can't get it out. Now Doug Hallward will try. Gets it ahead to Prop. Back to Hallward. Prop is knocked down. Hallward and Prop going off on a line change. Hallward shoots it into the Soviet zone with Zubkov, number 3, in front of his own goal. Both teams at full strength. The pass comes to Startikov. It's knocked off his stick. Gartner chasing it into the Soviet zone. Mike Gartner cleared it in front, intended for Dennis Maruk. That was broken up by Startikov, and it'll be icing against the Soviets.
Well, Krutov had Ryan Prop really talking to him after that check right in front of the Team Canada bench. Krutov, of course, one of the best body checkers on the Soviets, at least up front. But I'll tell you something, if he's the best, the Canadians, the way they're throwing their weight around here in the first period, have really got the Soviets off their game a little bit right now. And if they keep this up, that's what the secret is.
Stay right on top of them, and they've been very successful. The Soviets have been called about 4 times now for icing, and that's something you never see the Soviets do. Gartner's hauled down. There will be a penalty to Kazatonov as Gartner trying to break in on the right side. Kazatonov looks at the official, Juhola of Finland, but he'll sit the next 2 minutes in the penalty box.
Well, Kazatonov was in over the line checking on the play. Let's take a look at it. Innocent-looking play, really, as they came in. There it is. They're stripping. There's no question about it. So Kazatonov goes off, and Canada gets a chance on the power play. And it's been a fitful kind of a power play for Canada in this tournament. At times it's looked very, very impressive, and at other times it has not been able to do a thing. But we'll see what can happen here as we've got Marcel Dion out, the Triple Crown line from Los Angeles with Zimmer and Taylor, and the point men for Canada will be Craig Hartsburg and, of course, Paul Reinhardt.
Paul Reinhardt, who's simply been outstanding. Here's Hartsburg getting set, a shot, rebound in front. Taylor looking for the rebound as Tretiak made the initial save from the shot from Hartsburg. Dion in the corner. The Soviets a man short. Here's a backhand shot by Zimmer, and Tretiak stops that on the short side. Hartsburg for Canada, number 5. Claps it off the boards. Taylor behind the net. Taylor for Canada. Zimmer moves to the front. Here's Marcel Dion. A shot hit the side of the net. Taylor for Canada. Hartsburg takes the pass. Blasts it wide of the Soviet net, looking for a deflection there with Marcel Dion trying to come up with the puck, but his stick was hooked. We have 30 seconds left to play in the opening period. It's a 1-1 tie. Here's Marcel Dion in front for Taylor. Taylor takes it into the corner, then he's checked. Dion drops it in behind the net. And he was checked as he got that pass away. 12 seconds left to play. The puck is cleared into the Team Canada zone, and Hartsburg after it there. Craig Hartsburg. And there's the horn to end the first period of play, and a highly entertaining period at that. Canada and the Soviets drawn deadlock in a 1-1.
06. Canada will start this period with 51 seconds remaining in a power misconduct on the play. So we're about set for period number 2 here. What will happen as we attempt here for Canada to win this one and to gain the silver medal at the World Hockey Championship? They must win to gain the silver. They lose, and it's a bronze medal. And with the play-by-play here in the second period, once again, Bernie Pascal.
Thanks, Ron, and we're going to be like goaltenders in old European hockey and split at the 10-minute mark, and I'll do the play-by-play here for the first 10 minutes of the second period, and then Ron Roos will take over for the last half of the game. We hope you're enjoying it across the full CTV network. A 1-1 tie. And Kazatonov steps onto the ice. The Soviets are back at full strength. Stevens trying to get it ahead for Brian Propp. Anderson in over the line to Sittler. Sittler shoots, and Tretiak makes the save. Boy, is Brian Propp playing a strong game for Team Canada as he stole the puck at the Soviet blue line. And the Soviets again ice it with Stevens touching up.
What a game he is having. A great chance there as it went Propp to Anderson and then into Sittler, who got the rush and the breakaway in on Tretiak. Tretiak just stood his ground on the play, but Anderson has scored one, had one taken away from him after he... Tretiak in goal, Fetisov and Kazatonov on defense, and Krutov along with Larionov and Makarov up front.
And it's the starting six for the Soviets, the starting six for every game. Here's another opportunity coming right in front. The backhand shot stopped by Uэмсли, and the net is knocked off the small peg there, and the whistle blown by Yahala. And that is interesting, Ron, the fact that Tretiak, with the two Soviet defensemen and the line, the starting six named as the All-Star.
Well, there's also kind of a boycott of the voting. Here's that play in front of the net. Now watch it the other side. I think that Waters is going to lift the net off its moorings. Watch him give it that little extra, and it comes off because it's the pins are not set in the ice. They're set at the bottom of the actual net, and they lift off very easily.
Larionov, number 11, had the puck stolen from him. It's cleared out to center ice. And Gartner, with that great speed, almost broke loose into the Soviet zone. As we approach the 2-minute mark here of the second period, Larionov in for the Soviets, drops it back, and the shot there off the stick of Krutov was deflected wide. Kazatonov fans on it. Here's a 2-on-1 break for Team Canada. Hartsburg trying to get the puck over. He slipped and fell, and it's Makarov on the right wing side. Makarov to Larionov, getting set. And that's stopped by Uэмсли. Good save by Rick Uэмсли of the Montreal Canadiens. Goulet is jumped as he tries to backhand the puck out. Here's a chance, Kazatonov, and it's deflected just wide. Krutov, they score! Larionov puts it in.
What a goal by Krutov, who was off balance and still got the shot away in front of the net. Let's take a look at it. A quick pass out. And Soviet Union has gone in front. The shot was wide. It was deflected behind the net. It'll come right back out on a quick pass. And down, he lost his balance on the play, and it wound up in the net.
So Larionov gets the go-ahead goal at 2:28 of this second period.
Take a look at it once again as the puck winds up behind the net. But watch out in front of the net. There he is. And what can a goaltender do about something like that? Larionov getting the goal. The assist will go to Makarov.
And the Soviets in front 2-1. They have the puck once again. Helmut Balderas, who is back on the Soviet team after missing a couple of world champions. We're back at the Olympia Halle in Munich, West Germany. Bernie Pascal with Ron Roos. And the Soviets needing a win today to get a gold medal.
There's Dave King behind the Team Canada bench, along with Jean Perron to the right of your screen. Two of the three coaches, along with George Kingston, who handled Team Canada. Big thing for Team Canada right now, Bernie, is not to get overexcited. They're behind, but they've still got to play their game, which has been successful so far.
There's a shot by Starikov, just goes wide of the Team Canada goaltender, Rick Uэмсли. Both teams at full strength. Dion reaching forward at center. It's right on, stopped by Vladislav Tretiak, the all-star goalie here at the 48th World Hockey Championship. Maltsev. A pass on the left side. The Soviets bringing it in. Vasiliev, who scored the first goal of the game, let the puck go. It slides into the Soviet zone. Back for it there, Starikov. If Canada wins today, they'd have a silver medal. If the Soviets win, they get a gold. Here's a break now. Fetisov clearing it right through the crease. Hartsburg for Team Canada, and they jam it there. Kazatonov makes sure it stays with his skate.
And if these two teams tie, Canada gets the bronze. Czechoslovakia, if Canada they tie, would win the gold. Soviets would get the silver. So there are a few things to be decided here. Czechoslovakia can't do anything about it except cheer for Canada.
1,600. Quite a turnout for the World Ice Hockey Championships here in Germany, Dusseldorf, Dortmund, and in Munich. The Soviets leading Team Canada 2-1. We've played 5 minutes in the second period. This is Scott Stevens at center. Makarov got a piece of him. It's slapped in, and Pervukin gets it back out to the center ice area. Here's a chance now. Larionov to Makarov with Krutov. Makarov has the puck. Babanov on the right side. It didn't come over to him, and that's broken up nicely by the Team Canada defenseman, Scott Stevens. Kept in by Babanov. And slapped by Brian Englund, but he couldn't get it out. Krutov, he scores! And the Soviets go in front, 3-1. Krutov scoring for the Soviets, and they're off the bench to congratulate number 9, Krutov.
Oh, what a great wrist shot Krutov has got, and you just don't let him cruise around. There's that line again. They were back at it inside the blue line. A bad clearing pass set this one up, and it bounced off a stick. Here it comes. Englund just had it really a weak pass. He didn't get good wood on it, and there's Krutov with that wrist shot, setting up and firing. And Rick Wamsley, really not much he could do as it picked the far side, so Krutov gets the goal. And the Soviet Union, with 2 goals in this period now, have gone into a 3-1 lead. Here's another look at it. Not much you can do against Krutov's shot. Always remember the time Krutov in the final game of the Canada Cup broke out 1-on-1 against Guy Lafleur on a power play and gave him the how do you do.
See an exciting player or what? Krutov has scored here for the Soviets. They lead 3-1. Goulet, Gartner, and Maruk out there, and we'll be right back.
Goulet. Gardner ei saa kiekkoa, näin tulevat jälleen neuvostoliittolaiset tällä kertaa vauhdissa. Valderis ja pienestä kulmasta yritti, mutta sen Wamsley torjui.
Play just underway, the puck in the Team Canada zone. Both teams at full strength, and it's slapped out on the right side. Here's a chance, Gartner. The pass was behind Maruk, but it was called offside.
The official scoring on the goal at the 5:38 mark. Krutov from, it's an unassisted goal, so Krutov getting the goal to put the Soviet Union ahead 3-1. Vasilyev, what a great young player he's going to be. I guess he is the new Makarov coming in, a star in the World Junior Championship Series, the one that Canada won in Minnesota.
The lone Team Canada goal scored in the first period by John Anderson from Brian Prost. That shot just goes wide. Slapped off the boards, tried to get it at center was Gartner, but the Soviets keep it in. Here's an opportunity right at the side. Vasilyev tried to jam it there. Drops it into the middle, and it's cleared to the corner. Fetisov deep for the Soviets. He's spun around. The puck is taken by Gartner now. Gartner, number 11, shoots it down the ice into the Soviet zone. It'll be icing as it's touched there by Kazatonov. Viktor Tikhonov looking on there at the Soviet bench, a former defenseman.
This is the national team debut for Vasilyev. You saw heading to the bench. Boy, Tikhonov has not been in a very, there you see him there adjusting his equipment. Tikhonov has not been in a very good frame of mind during this tournament. He has complained, especially in the Czechoslovakian game. Very, very animated behind the bench.
Now Canada with possession at the center ice area. It's broken up, but brought back in by Marcel Dion. Here's Dion. Rolled the puck in front. Reinhardt's shot. That's blocked at the side by Pervukin. And cleared ahead now to Gamayev. Gamayev up over the line with Skvortsev. And he's knocked off stride. Tries to get the puck to Bykov. Now Gamayev goes deep in behind the Team Canada net. Soviets leading by a score of 3-1. We've played 7:15. There's a shot right on the rebound, and Wamsley makes 2 key saves.
Great saves made by Wamsley. The first one, but that rebound, Wamsley was off balance, and he seemed to just get his glove on it. There's Vasilyev again at the bench, getting the shoulder pad adjusted. But what a good save here. Watch the first one, swinging out there. Number 18 is Gamayev. He throws it into the slot. The shot now, Wamsley's off balance here. And the thing about it is the Soviets, how quickly they got that shot away, the initial one.
Now back for Canada. This is John Anderson. Propp going after the puck, in behind the Soviet net. Propp gets it to Sittler, and he couldn't handle the pass. Up on the left side now goes Krutov. Krutov puts on the break, being covered there by Brian Englund. Sittler trying to get the puck at center. It's broken up. Larionov to Makarov. Fans on his shot. And Team Canada has possession and just clears it to the center ice area. It's taken there by number 12, Starikov. Ahead to Larionov. Larionov over the line with Makarov and Krutov. Anderson checked him. Puck is kicked in front. Brian Propp got it, but not out. Here's a chance. Krutov, and he whistled that just wide of the top left-hand corner. Zubkov of the Soviets. He clears it. Spinning around again is Krutov trying to get a shot, and he had the puck and stick stripped from him. Makarov holds it in the corner, and they finally succeed in getting a whistle.
Well, for Team Canada, there has not been a silver medal since 1962. That goes back to the year after the Trail Smoke Eaters won our last World Championship 22 years ago. We've had a couple of bronzes since then, but it has just been a long, frustrating time for Canada. Now they have to come from behind if they want to get the silver here. They need a victory.
Now Canada on the attack. It's taken there by Goulet trying to take it out of his own zone. Now James Patrick. Patrick being hooked there by Kapustin, got away from him, and the Soviets deflected into their own zone. Kazatonov got away from Gartner. Gets a pass up on the right side. That's Shepelev. Shepelev to Balderas. Back to Shepelev. Here's Kapustin, a shot. That's blocked. Another drive. And Wamsley stops 2 shots in a row off the Soviet attackers. Balderas collides with his own teammate Kapustin. Here's Kapustin with the puck. Up over the Team Canada line. Trying to get it to Kazatonov. And it's brought out by Team Canada's Mike Gartner. Dennis Baruch after the loose puck. And it's right onto the stick of Fetisov. Fetisov, a pass. Up on the right side goes Vasiliev. Vasiliev fans on his shot. And he's taken out of the play by Tim Waters. In behind the Team Canada net. They jam away at it. Around the boards it comes. Gartner slaps it but not out. Kapustin with Vasiliev a shot. Balderas standing right in front of the net. And Canada's Michel Goulet. Goulet on the left side brings it in. Here's Gartner coming in front. Gartner to Hartsburg, a shot. That was blocked. Canada still with possession. Baruch behind the net, getting it at the side. Oh, and what a chance Gartner had, but he was hooked before he could get the shot. Dennis Baruch for Canada into Hartsburg. Hartsburg's backhander is knocked down, and the Soviets come out. Soviets up over the line. Fetisov. Vasiliev getting it in front. A shot. And that's just wide off the stick of Vyacheslav Vikov. The Soviets keep it in. Spinning around now is Maltsev. Maltsev knocked off stride. And it's brought out by Dennis Baruch. Here's Hartsburg. Hartsburg for Team Canada. Takes it into the Soviet zone. Knocked off stride. And it's Vikov. Vikov can't get it out. A shot knocked down by Babinov. Babinov of the Soviets, with the Soviets leading 3-1. Here's a chance now. Gainey in front, and the puck was just deflected away. Maltsev up on the right side. A chance for Gamayev. Gamayev's shot, that's deflected, and it goes off the glass. Zimmer clears it down the ice, and this should be icing as Babinov races after it, but so does Gainey, who got there first. Gainey showing a good burst of speed, wiping out the icing call as he got there ahead of Babinov. Whistles here in the second period. We've played 11:40 of the second period. Here's Pervukin trying to get it ahead. Up goes Vasiliev. He's hooked. There'll be a penalty to Paul Reinhardt for hooking.
Silmien palavassa katseessa oli siinä Pertti Juhola hetken, mutta Juholan rangaistuksen anto oli kyllä aivan oikea. Tässä te näette tuon tilanteen. 11:49. Se on kolmas 2-minuuttinen Kanadalle. Neuvostoliitolla on tässä ottelussa ollut vasta 1 jäähy. Ja siellä on sitten All Stars -miehistö näistä kisoista jäällä. Tretjak, Fetisov, Kasatonov, Larionov, Krutov, Makarov.
Back at the World Hockey Championships, and now with the play-by-play of the balance of the game, here's Ron Roos.
Thanks very much, Bernie. And on the power play, the Soviets from the blue line, that's Kazatonov who shot it, and he goes down at the line. I think he took a hit right at the point. Now gets it again. He's up, throws it in against the boards. There's Makarov, backed up against the boards. Power play, fakes the shot, throws it to the side of that, back onto Makarov in front. And again, he fakes the shot as going down in front of him was John Anderson. Now on the far boards, it's Makarov trying to get it out. Anderson doing a good job on the the penalty killing, is swinging around with it now is Larionov.
Kasatonov, Fetisov, Kasatonov, Kasatonov, Fetisov, Kasatonov, Larionov, Fetisov, tyhjä pois, Kasatonov, ja täältä ruutin palaaja takapleksiin.
Off on the far point now. Minute 9 remaining in the power play. Try to get it in front. Swinging around is Makarov. Back up the point. There's the shot, and he's wide with it. Fetisov on the far board. Gets it in deep. There's Larionov trying to work for the net. The shot, and it's off the leg. It bounces high in the air. Anderson going after it, but he can't reach it before swinging away with it is Krutov. He tries to get it out in front, and finally, Rick Uэмсли gets his hands on it and halts further play.
Boy, we thought the game the other day between the Soviets and Czechoslovakia was one of the finest games we've seen in a long time, the 1-1 tie. And this game tonight is fully entertaining. A 3-1 lead for the Soviets, featuring some sparkling goaltending, especially by Rick Uэмсли of Team Canada. Uэмсли backed up by Mike Beiser, although Uэмсли has seen all the action here at the World Hockey Championships.
The Soviets with Shepelev out there along with Kapustin and Valderas. And from the face-off, Valderas reaching for it at the line. He tried to clear it in front. They'll try to get set. Reaching for it is Shepelev. Shepelev can't get loose. Puck pops high in the air and then is taken by Shepelev again, number 21 on the far boards. He drops it off. Back out to the point. There's the shot. It's over top of the net. Goes up against the glass. Kapustin against the board, just holding on now. With 22 seconds left in the power play, it's back out to the point. That's Pervukin throwing it in there. In a crowd, it winds up in the corner. Valderas will get the pass in the corner now. Works it out in front, tries to jam it in. Uэмсли goes down, and a couple of the players at the point thought it got into the net. Raising his stick in the air was Babanov, but it was held out by Uэмсли.
And there are 11 left, number 21, Uэмсли, making another save, making sure the puck stayed there long enough to get a whistle from the Finnish referee, Juhola.
Final stages of this power play. It'll be Bykov along with Vasiliev and Gemaev. From the face-off, it's back to the blue line. Starikov getting it over there. There's a deflection wide of the net now. It winds up in the corner. Swinging away with it now is Bykov, and it's cleared down the ice. Back to get it for the Soviet Union is Zubkov. He's behind the net now. Zubkov, as out comes Maltsev, the fourth line for the Soviet Union. Over the line is Vasiliev with that great speed. He's around behind the net, throws it out through the slot. Now here's a shot. That's a flex off a leg. Faking the shot, working it around behind the net now is Bykov. He rolls it out in front. They score.
Well, a great play by Bykov, number 27, taking the puck from behind the Soviet net, and he gives the Soviets a 4-1 lead. But some good puck control by the youngster, Vyacheslav Bykov. So watch the action develop here. It comes to the side of the net. Uэмсли loses sight of it there momentarily. Now here's Bykov. Fakes his shot. Ryan Engblom tries to chase him behind the net. That's Stevens, number 3. He can't get back in time. And he just tucks it in past Rick Uэмсли. Bykov scoring for the Soviets at 14-12 of this second period.
Well, the assist on that then for Vasiliev along with Zubkov. And from the face-off, it's at the blue line again, 4-1 Soviets. Into the corner where Engblom's got it. Puts it along the boards, can't get it out. A power play goal, Goulet now. A rink-wide pass for Gardner. He risks it in there. It's gloved by goaltender Vladislav Tretiak. Leaves it to the side of the net. Canada now moving in, but they're unable to control it as Shlukov gets it out to center ice. After it out there now is Gemaev. He gets in over the line, but is unable to get the shot away. Now Gardner. Gardner at center ice. Carrying it for Canada. That's Anderson. He clears it to the line. Unable to get loose, however. Sherburn is number 10. Now out at center ice. Right back in over the line now for the Soviets. Sports off. Unable to get the shot away again. It winds up out at center ice. Coming back for it for the Soviet Union is Gemaev, number 18. Soviets trying to regroup near their own line. Makarov will go all the way back deep in his own zone as the Soviets complete their line change. Makarov with Taylor in forechecking. Feeds it behind Larionov. Now back behind the net. Fetisov. They have a full unit here, and this unit is really offensive-minded. They score a lot of goals. Moving in now is Krutov. Tries to get the shot away. He's checked against the boards by Hallward. In the corner and along the boards near the point, but kept in. Taylor gets it.
Now bringing it to center ice is Hartsburg. Hartsburg hits the line, drops it off. Reinhardt clearing it in front. Unable to deflect it was Taylor as he cut across in front. Now the Soviets once again out at center ice, and lead pass for Larionov over the line. Trying to slide it in front for Krutov. That was blocked by the defense. Makarov on the far board clears it in front. It's cleared away again by Hallward. Soviets controlling it inside the blue line and trying to get the shot away again is Makarov. In against the boards, Canada now gets possession. Cleared around the boards, but not out. Kazatonov from the point, moving in. He can't control it either against the checking of Zion. Now it is Larionov. His shot. Good save made by Wamsley. Loose at the side of the net. Now cleared out to center ice, and Kazatonov once again gets it. Kazatonov to Makarov. Now to Larionov. Bounces it over the line, and it's flipped way up into the crowd by the Canadian defense.
Alaspäin ja näitte tämän onnellisen katselijan, joka pisti sen sitten taskuunsa. Kapustin.
Soviets once again on the attack, but unable to cross the line. Kapustin now at center ice. He loses the puck. The Soviets with Shepelev carrying it back into his own zone. Feeds it straight up ice for Kapustin, who drops it off, and here is Babanov. Babanov over the line with some room. Works to the corner now, trying to get around Prop, circles the net. Babanov in deep, he fires it back behind. Reinhardt around the board. Gainey tried to knock it down out there. It's backhanded in by Kazatonov. And here comes team captain for Canada, Dion. He's over the line. Dion shooting it in. Reinhardt in against the boards now. Every time he's been out there, up front, he has been a real problem for the opposition. But here the Soviet break out quickly as it's cleared all the way up ice past Schwarzkopf. Back to get it now for Canada's Hallward. He's wrestled against the board. Schwarzkopf then put it right on Anderson's stick. Anderson on his way back out to center ice now. Anderson working to the line. He's been playing very well for Canada as he goes in deep. Anderson being chased off the puck now by Fedosov. It's behind the net. Sittler looking for it. Sittler fighting his way into the corner after that puck against Kazatonov. They jam against the boards. It comes back out to the blue line. Engblom shot, and he's wide of the net with it. Now against the boards, Waters shooting it in behind the net. Engblom, or at least it's Sittler who cleared it out in front, but it was off the stick of Anderson, and the Soviets take over. Back in over the line now. Passed in front of the net. Prop swinging past his own goal mouth and on his way out to center ice. And there's the end of the second period of play. The Soviets scoring 3 unanswered goals, and they lead it by a score of 4-1.
By that time, every team had its top NHL players playing for them, and the tournament wound up 15 points for Czechoslovakia, who won it, 14 each for Sweden and the Soviet Union, and Canada had 13 points. That was the year that we had a great, exciting time. When Esposito and some of the others played well for us, and we had a great tournament. But the tournament and the fans are the losers. You see 10,500 here today, but the Russians are just we're going to have to do it with a bit of luck, and we haven't had much. Let's hope we can get a goal early and maybe 3 or 4 months to plan it. With Labatt's help, I'm satisfied that we'll run a good Canada Cup.
And then Vasiliev, Larionov, Krutov, and Bykov scoring for the Soviets. The Soviets must win this game by play of period number 3. Here's Ron Roosh.
Thanks very much, Bernie. And with the face-off at center ice, Hartsburg had trouble getting past the forecheckers. As right there was Makarov. Swinging back with it now is Larionov. Ducking away from some checking, now drops it off, and here comes Krutov over the line. He makes the move, drops it off. Makarov fading to the far boards, gets the return pass. Makarov. Now rink wide, Fedosov moving in, the shot right on, and Wamsley makes the save.
After he was jolted quite heavily there, right at the team.
Puck at the side of the net, that's Patrick who taps it in against the boards, and it's cleared out to center ice. Prop. Back in his own zone is Kazatonov. He drops it off. Coming back up ice now is Yuri Gemayev. He's checked on the play. Fedosov along his own blue line stops. A weak pass on the boards on this side. Back to get it is Makarov. Makarov feeding it in deep. Kazatonov behind his own net, and he comes out. Now it's forced to fade back by Brian Sittler. Sittler. Now clearing it out to center ice. Daryl Sittler and a rink-wide pass working it to the line. Makarov. Makarov is stopped on the play, and Hartsburg shooting it right back in again. Around the boards, Prop. Brian Prop in the corner now, behind the net. Anderson trying to get it out in front. The play is deflected behind the net by Tretiak. Now back behind the net again is Anderson. Anderson out in front, trying to feed it into Prop, and Prop has knocked down the bouncing puck. Loose in front of the net again. Anderson in there, but he's unable to control it. It's cleared around the boards and past Krutov.
Gordon Söven kanadalaisista aloittamassa. Hänellä vastassaan Sepelev. Söven voittaa Brian Engblom. Ja Tresjak torjuu ja nappaa tuolla isolla mailan Klopokallaan. Kiekon kauas katsomoon.
Welcome back to Munich, West Germany. This is Bernie Pascal along with Ron Roosh and our CTV crew in cooperation with German television, bringing you this championship game between the Soviets and Team Canada. The Soviets leading 4-1.
Pervukin from the face-off, clearing it to center ice. The bouncing puck right back in. Taylor hustling after it. Number 10 out there is Gord Shervin. He leaves it for Engblom back in his own zone now. Engblom around the boards on the far side. It is Scott Stevens. Stevens off the boards. He's checked on the play as Shervin gets it. Engblom behind his own net now. Standing there now, easing it out. Gets it to Shervin, off Shervin's stick. And now Stevens will have to turn with it. Engblom, the two Washington Capitals defensemen, who work together all year now. Engblom getting it back to Stevens, who deflects it out to center ice. And for the Soviets, number 4 is Babinov. He can't control it. Stevens goes in deep, drops the puck off. Now Taylor, Dave Taylor. Taylor swinging in the corner now. Engblom moving in deep. They clear to the side, and it's a backhand shot. And it is hoisted over top of the net. Babinov starts out, clears it out to center ice, and Engblom right back with it. Engblom over the line now. It's deflected away from him. Still kept in. It's called on the offside as it came out over the line and back in. And now we've got Kapustin pushing and shoving against Stevens. I'll tell you, this period has just seemed to go a little more Team Canada's way, but they haven't been able to beat Tretiak.
Well, they've had a couple of good opportunities, Ron, and Stevens not afraid to mix it up. Very aggressive youngster in the NHL with Washington. He had almost 200 minutes in penalties with the Washington Capitals. One thing I've noticed about the Soviets, of course, they have many pluses, experience one of them, and that units of 5 definitely an asset, but Canada doing a great job of forechecking the Soviets.
From the face-off along the boards, Bekoff, number 27, bringing it up on the right wing boards. Now Bekoff's over the line, cutting for the net. Also, Cecilia for the shot. The rebounder rolls just wide. I believe Wamsley got a piece of it. Canada turns it over, brings it right back. Gainey over the line. Gainey dropping it back. There's nobody at the point as Zimmer had moved in, and the Soviets are back with Vasiliev. Vasiliev's shot right along the ice, blocked by Wamsley. It comes to the side of the net. He slides it off. And Canada now on its way to center ice. Marcel Dion to the line. Dion getting set. The shot. It went wide of the net. Dion back out into the slot. And there's nobody there. Loose inside the zone. And finally the Soviets have brought it out to center ice. It's Bekoff bringing it in over the line. He takes a shot. He's wide of the net with it. Out at center ice. Dion reaching for it. But Katsatanov is there in front of the Soviet bench. The Soviets misfire on the passing play. Over the line now is Gemaev going in against the boards. But the puck is taken by Team Canada. Gartner behind the net past Hartsburg. Hartsburg goes after it in the corner, and there's going to be a penalty called against Team Canada's
penalized player Doug Hallward of Team Canada for hooking at 6:07, and the Soviets are awesome at the best of times, and now they're on the power play.
Fetisov at the point now. Fetisov working with Kazatonov. He slides it in now. Back out to the point for Fetisov. He's the wheel man now. He just cradles that puck along the line. Larionov in against the boards. Picks up the pass. Back out to Fetisov again. Here comes the shot, and it's kicked way out by Wamsley as he's wont to do. Now fading back to the point is Krutov. Krutov over for Fetisov. It went off that broken stick. Now it's Fetisov along the boards. Larionov back to Fetisov again. Fetisov is stopping at the line, slides it through. It's intercepted by Hartsburg, and he brings it out to center ice. Hartsburg working to the line now, drops back, still controls it. Now taps it over the Soviet line, and back to get it is Fetisov. He'll lead the rush. Fetisov at center ice, drops it off. Over the line will come Makarov, number 24. Makarov now, Krutov cutting in front of him, gets it back to the blue line. That's Kazatonov. He shoots it in wide. Now in the corner. And it is called, and we'll have a face-off inside the Team Canada zone as you look at Kazatonov.
Well, 1 minute and 2 seconds have elapsed in the penalty to Doug Hallward. Darryl Sittler was playing without his stick there for a while and finally got one at the bench. 58 seconds left in Doug Hallward's penalty. We've played 7:09 in the third period with the Soviets leading 4-1.
From the face-off, the pass wound up splitting the defense. The Soviets will regroup at center ice. Kapustin now working to the line, gets it in over the line for Babanov. Babanov going into the corner. Gemaev's in there. Puck into the corner now, cleared out to the blue line. Here's the shot, and a whistler that's just wide of the net off the stick of Sergei Starikov. Now against the boards, Starikov gets it again. He tried to feed the other point man, Zubkov, but he has to regroup his men now out at center ice. Starikov ahead. Balderas couldn't get over the line. Gainey's back with it. Canada's penalty killing has been good. Now cleared down the ice, past Starikov into the Soviet zone. Tretiak is out. Starikov around behind the net and lugs it out to center ice himself. Now he passes it for Bikov. Bikov hits the line now. Fed into the corner. After it is Kapustin. He's around behind the net now. All right, they get it out to the point. Zubkov has got it there. Zubkov clearing it in front. It's tapped out to the far point. Starikov backhanding it into the corner. The penalty is over now as Maltsev is checked against the boards. And it's out at center ice. A rink wide pass near Marcel Dion hustling it over the line. His shot. That's blocked by Tretiak, and he covers up and holds for the face-off.
Well, a capacity crowd here in Munich enjoying this game, and a total of 227,000 spectators have watched the 40 games at the World Hockey Championships, and they've been very hospitable. And what a beautiful area of the world to visit. Munich, West Germany. The weather has been mostly ideal every day, although we had heavy rain yesterday. And, you get some of that great Wiener Schnitzel and the sausage
and the other thing that they're famous for here, huh?
Labatt's.
Round behind the net now. Pervukin into the corner, cleared out along the boards. Moving in is from the point for Canada is Hallward, and the puck comes back to the blue line. It's bounced out to center ice, and Hallward just touched it but couldn't control it. Now coming over the line is Sportsov, but he came in ahead of the puck and is called on the offside. Face off in the center ice area. It bounces towards the Team Canada line. Waters chopping away at it near the boards. That's Patrick, not Waters, number 6. Now he cuts to the side of his net and starts out. Patrick ahead for Maruk now. Maruk just shooting it in wide of the Soviet net. It's cleared along the boards by Pervukin. Back out to center ice. There's Big Splitsoff now down over the line with only Waters back and bounced in front of the net. The shot, they score! Beautiful two-way passing play as Splitsoff coming down the right side got the pass from Splitsoff.
Oh, what a picture play goal. And Big Splitsoff, who is a draft of the Minnesota North Stars, made no mistake and sets up Alexander Sportsev. Ryan Engblom back. There's the pass over, and making no mistake is Sportsev at 9:09, and the Soviets pull in front by a score of 5-1. But some good passing by Zlutov, who played it perfectly. Engblom back to defend, and then he passed the puck over to Sportsev, and
You saw Larionov there. He came from the Kimmich team, which is another one of the Soviet League teams, but they have a draft in the Soviet Union. And that draft allows the 3 Moscow teams to draft anybody they want into the city of Moscow. The idea being is, looks like somebody had some problems with Munich's #1 product there in the crowd. Puck is out at center ice, off the face-off. Fetisov turning with it, drops it back. They've got that big unit out there again as the puck is cleared off Krutov's stick out at center ice. Simmer turns. He tries to get loose, but Larionov has got the puck down. He's over the line. Larionov trying to roll it in front. There's the shot. They score the backhand, and it's Makarov on another one of those plays that unfolded so quickly the defense could not get organized.
Well, as we mentioned earlier, this was the all-star line chosen at the World Hockey Championships here. Larionov with Makarov and Krutov. And what a backhand play here. The puck will come to Makarov. Rick Uэмсли playing it, but the backhand just gets by him on the glove side. And Makarov showing one of his many talents, slapping the puck with the backhand in past Uэмсли at 9:32. So 2 quick goals here in the third period. And the Soviets have taken a 5-goal lead, now lead 6-1.
Now the face-off again in the center ice area. Shepelev bringing it in over the line. Shepelev trying to get it now in front of the net. Back around behind the net now. After it there is Slukov. Slukov unable to get it loose. Canada takes over, but the pass is right on the stick of Shepelev. He turns. And Canada will regroup now. Is back in his own zone is John Anderson. Anderson to Engblom at center ice. He shoots it in now. Back to get it for the Soviets. Zubkov along the boards behind the net now. Sittler hoisting it to the side of the net. And it's fired off the boards, and Brian Propp has got it. Propp having trouble with it. He stands on it. Cleared off the boards and out to center ice once again. Canada led in this game by a 1-0 score, and they have now had 6 straight goals scored on them. Anderson moving in. He's been the outstanding Canadian. In the corner on the far side, now it's Propp. Propp digging out, rolling it in front. Anderson was there, but it hit a leg or one of the Soviet players and bounced away from him. Still in the center ice area. Poking at it is Sittler. Daryl Sittler. Now Engblom shooting it in, and it goes into the corner on the far side. The Soviets again with Starikov carrying the puck around behind his own net. Beats it up on the left wing boards for Kapustin. He gets it back in front of the net. Zubkov, Starikov. Starikov out at center ice now, and it's Bikov. Bikov down on the right wing boards. Partially checked there by Hallward. Gets in behind the net. After it, Hallward, the puck bounces around the boards and is cleared out to center ice, and for the Soviet Union, Sergei Babanov. Back in his own zone. Pervukin out at the blue line. Now hustling after it is Vasiliev. He's got that great speed. He's being tied up by Hartsburg. Gainey throws a check in there. The puck comes back to the point. Matt Pervukin, he shoots it in, and it's deflected down on Wamsley, and he had to be alert on that one. Good save, and it draws a hand from the crowd here. Now it's Dion. Dion, Taylor falls as he went for the puck along the boards. The Soviets have got it back out at center ice now. Bringing it down to the line is Bikov. He tried to get it in front of the net, and Goulet swinging back behind his own net. Goulet ahead at center ice. Taylor drifting it ahead for Zion. Zion chopping it behind. As coming up on the play was Michel Goulet, and it's cleared back down into the Team Canada zone. Back to get it for Canada is Craig Hartsburg. Icing the call.
Kanadalaiset yrittävät sinnikkäästi nyt kavennusta.
The face-off, the puck rolls right out into the goal mouth, and there's Tretiak down on his knees. He has not given up more than 1 goal in any game in this tournament that he has played. What's he got, 5 shutouts?
What an amazing athlete he has been, and you know, he hasn't celebrated a birthday at home in years because his birthday is April 25th, and it's always during the World Hockey Championships. Vladislav Tretiak, who was 32 on April 25th, and getting better.
Back up here. From the face-off, it is cleared down the ice. Back to get it for Team Canada is James Patrick. He backhands it around the boards. Waters to Patrick once again. Out to center ice, but it was off the move. Gets past Makarov. Now it's back out at center ice. Goulet, quick shot, but went off a stick and went wide. Now it's in the corner. Backhanded along the boards by Kazatonov. Along the boards now, digging it out, clearing it in is Goulet on the give and go. They throw it, but they score! Canada off the give and go worked perfectly, and John Anderson, the big man in this game for Canada, has scored his 2nd goal.
Well, John Anderson, Johnny on the spot, the member of the Toronto Maple Leafs, scores Canada's 2nd goal and his 2nd of the game. There's Michel Goulet, number 17, watched by Kazatonov. He dumps the puck into the corner there to Scott Stevens, and it comes in front to John Anderson, and he beats Vladislav Tretiak. Anderson gets the goal from Goulet and Stevens at 13:07, and what a good play by Team Canada's John Anderson. Right Johnny on the spot, got in behind the defense, something that you don't see happen too often, and he beats Tretiak.
Now hustling in again is Anderson. Around behind it, taps it out in front. Oh! Having a difficult time with that was Tretiak, as Anderson used that speed of his again.
So Tretiak being tested a couple of times here, giving up the goal by Anderson, and Anderson coming bronze.
Fiddler remains out there from the face-off. Here's a shot. It hits legs in front of the net. The Soviets control it. Bringing it out to center ice is Babinov. Babinov ahead for Maltsev. Maltsev, Vasiliev. Player is knocked down inside that blue line, but that's Bykov. Bykov against the boards, number 27, but it's knocked away from him and out to center ice. And Pervukin's got it. Over to the far side. Babinov shooting it right back in again. And back to get it. Behind his own net is Scott Stevens. Stevens to Sittler. Sittler at center ice now. Over the line. Here's Brian Prop. Prop jammed against the boards. Clears it behind the net, however. It's rolled out in front. Good chance there for Anderson, but he's unable to put his stick on it. Now, over the line, Vasiliev trailing on the play as Maltsev rolls it behind everybody in front of the net. Bykov was going for the net. And it's Team Canada once again on the move at the right-hand boards is Sittler. Sittler got it to the line, but it's chopped right back out to center ice by Pervukin and called on the offside. It was dragged back in again. Face-off outside the Soviet blue line.
There's been no shortage of National Hockey League scouts and general managers and personnel here in Munich for the championships. Jerry McNamara of the Toronto Maple Leafs has to be very pleased with the play of John Anderson. Lou Nanne of Minnesota, Nick Polano of Detroit, Jake Milford, Arthur Griffiths of Vancouver, Bill Dineen of Hartford, Barry Fraser of Edmonton, just to mention a few of the NHL personnel here.
Now here come the Soviets once again on the attack. Fetisov with that speed scores! What an individual effort! Around the defense and got in on a backhand, and Vladislav Fetisov, who was originally put on a Montreal Canadiens list after the World Junior Tournament in 1978. What an effort!
Great effort. Fetisov moves right in front of goaltender Rick Wamsley, and the captain of the Soviet team tucks the backhander into the net for the 7th Soviet goal. Fetisov set up by Viktor Zlukov.
Now for the face-off once again. Hartsburg out at center ice, knocking it down as Zimmer. Zimmer over the line, and he's offside as Marcel Gian hustled over the blue line a little too quickly. And now it is 7-2.
That last goal, Fetisov from Zlukov at 14:38. So after the goal by Anderson, his second, Anderson's goal from Goulet and Stevens at 13:07. And Rick Wamsley, who has gone all the way in goal here at the World Championships, has been facing the talents of Krutov and company of the Soviets. Coach Dave King, assistant Jean Perron on the headset, and up in the press box area talking to Jean Perron is the other assistant coach, George Kingston.
Now from the face-off, Patrick at center ice. Patrick working it to the line, unable to get loose. Starikov being forechecked by Reinhardt, who again is up front. Larionov, number 11, shooting it down the ice now, and back to get it will be Patrick. No icing. Patrick sliding along the boards for Gartner. Gartner backhanding it out to center ice. Zubkov back to Starikov, backing deep in his own zone. Now he feeds it out for Krutov. Krutov at center ice. There's Makarov. Krutov getting the pass now. Krutov trying to fight his way past Brian Engblom, and out to cover it up is Wamsley and hold on.
Well, coming up just at the conclusion of the game, we'll be announcing the Labatt Player of the Game and several candidates in line for that award. But although he'd be a candidate this time, I don't think Rick Wamsley will get it.
Well, we'll see. I know who my vote will go for. The fellow has got 2 goals and has just been outstanding all night. But, I ain't the only one voting on this one. In against the boards, Kapustin now in his own zone. In the corner, out to Sittler, his shot, and the rebound comes out, turning with it, firing it across the goal mouth there with Scott Stevens. Now against the boards again, there's Anderson. Anderson clearing it in front of the net, is knocked down. The Soviets on their way out again as Babinov gets it to Kapustin over the line, trying to cut through his Balderas, and the puck winds up in the crowd.
Dion ja hänellä vastassaan aloituksessa Bykov, Babgaini, Fetisov, Kasatonov. Sitten Vasiljev taistelee Hartsburgin kanssa kiekosta, sai sen annetuksi Kasatonoville, joka siirsi Maltseville.
On the face-off, Fetisov along his own blue line at center ice. Now drops it back as they use that swirling attack. Mikhail Vasiljev gets the speed. He got over the line, then mishandled it as he got in deep. Now around behind the net is Alexander Maltsev, and there's going to be a penalty called on Team Canada, and I believe Hallward, as Vasiliev is down, favoring one arm. He was checked behind the net, but Doug Hallward will draw the penalty. Vasiliev is the cousin of the great Victor Vasiliev, who, of course, played, or Valery Vasiliev, rather, played many years for the Soviet team. Here it is now. Watch Vasiliev.
Vasiliev bans on the shot, and then Hartsburg gave him a shot, and they're giving, well, let's check it now. Doug Hallward is being penalized.
It was Stevens, or not Stevens, but Hartsburg. Cleared down the ice, and Tretiak leaving it now. Back to get it is Kazatonov. He tried to slide it away, and there's Anderson again in there forechecking. He has really played with a great deal of emotion in this hockey game. Out at center ice, down over the line comes Gimaev. Gimaev looking for a man in the slot if he can find him, but he's chased up against the boards by Reinhardt. Reinhardt goes into the corner, lost his stick on the play, but managed to pin it in there and hold it for another face-off.
So Doug Hallward in the penalty box has 1:18 remaining in his penalty, being penalized at 16:52, and there's the Soviet bench. They don't display much emotion at the best of times, and they have a 5-goal lead in this game and are on the verge of winning another gold medal at the World Hockey Championships. Earlier today, Czechoslovakia defeated Sweden 4-1. Lala, Rushnak, Spozil, and Pashek getting the goals for Czechoslovakia.
And with the loss here for Team Canada, it will mean a bronze medal. So they finished in the medal standings. Back behind his own net now for the Soviet Union. It is Kazatonov. Kazatonov leaving it for Larionov. He brings it to center ice. Larionov working to the line now. He's with Krutov. Krutov trailing on the play. Dropped back. Krutov working to the corner. Now back out to Kazatonov. Over for Fedosov. His shot has just deflected off Walmsley wide of the net. 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes remaining in the hockey game now. They announced that in the European arenas. Kazatonov now in. Krutov out for Fedosov. Fedosov trying to slide it in. It's blocked to the defense. It's Gainey sprawled. Now Kazatonov again for Fedosov. Fedosov, Kazatonov. Kazatonov to Fedosov. He cuts for the slot area, the deep slot. Stops right there. Now over for Kazatonov again. His shot is deflected there wide of the net. It was there for Krutov, who was standing right at the goal mouth, but he couldn't put his stick on it. Fedosov over to the far side. Makarov's got it. Makarov working around, now feeds it into Krutov. Krutov trying to get across the goal line. He scores! I don't know whether he was trying to pass that out or he took the shot past Brian Englund, but it is 8-2.
Well, Krutov, as you say, Ron hesitated there. It almost appeared that he was going to pass it, but instead he tucked it in past Rick Walmsley as he gets by Scott Stevens trying to get back to check him. Hartsburg sliding in there. And Krutov has his second goal of the game.
The defensemen were out of position. Here they're on the power play, the Soviets, and watch this. Young Scott Stevens presses up too far to the boards, and they slide the puck underneath him. There he is, he's out past the edge of the circle. When the puck goes down underneath, now it's a 2-on-1 situation. And instead of the puck coming over to Larionov, Krutov gets the extra poke at the puck, but that created the 2-on-1 at the side of the net and the power play goal.
And Makarov, along with Fedosov, getting assists, and it's now 8-2, and that's the identical score going back to the preliminary round.
Patrick now, another power play goal for the Soviets. Patrick shooting it in. Starikov back to get it. Along the boards, Balderas clearing it straight up ice. Coming back near his own line is Waters. Gardner deflecting it over into the Soviet zone. Going deep into his own end is Starikov. Clearing it around behind the net. The Soviets quickly move that puck to center ice now. Shepelev hits the line, shoots it in. Walmsley steering it into the corner for Patrick. Patrick around the boards. Gardner can't knock it down. It's back out at center ice, and back to get it is Zubkov. Rink-wide pass for Starikov. Starikov back to Zubkov in the corner. Straight up ice at center ice is Kapustin. Kapustin over the line now for Shepelev. Try to get it to Balderas. Back at center ice. Kapustin again. Back for Zubkov. Starikov. Back for Zubkov deep in his own end. Zubkov working it out. Just chips it out to center ice. Balderas comes back. Balderas just beating it up. They're killing off time now. We've got 10 seconds remaining. Back behind his own net now is Sarakov. He just eases it along, gets the puck again, and time runs out, and the Soviet Union has won yet another World Championship. It's 19.
And they're off the bench to congratulate 32-year-old Vladislav Tretiak as the Soviets defeat Team Canada. The standing ovation here for the Soviets, who are just an outstanding hockey team, no question about that. Viktor Tikhonov, very happy coach of the Soviets, an innovative coach at that, and what a job he has done. You talk to many of the NHL personnel, they say he has to be one of the best coaches in all of hockey. But a very determined effort by Team Canada here at the World Hockey Championship. Canada in the medal running after a slow salute. The Soviets, who have won 17 of the last 20 World Hockey Championships, and a typical Soviet greeting there to Viktor Tikhonov. And here is the Soviet national anthem. Salute to the Soviet national team, the winners of the gold medal. Czechoslovakia wins the silver, and Canada wins the bronze medal here at the World Hockey Championships. And the Labatt player of the game from Team Canada.
1983, the team of Soviet Union. Die Weltmeisterschaftstrophäe und die Medaillen werden überreicht vom Präsidenten des Internationalen Eishockeyverbandes, Herrn Günther
kansainvälisen jääkiekkoliiton puheenjohtaja Günther Sapetski antoi maailmanmestaruusveistoksen Neuvostoliiton joukkueen kapteenin Vyacheslav Fetisovin käteen. Neuvostoliittohan voitti täällä jo myöskin Euroopan joukkuehan on jo matkustanut kotiin, mutta täällä palkitaan myöskin kunkin maan 3 parasta pelaajaa, ja Suomen joukkueesta palkitaan Kari Takko.
Дорогие товарищи, позвольте мне от имени всех телезрителей программы «Время» поздравить вас с победой, с радостью, то, что вы эту победу одержали в праздничные дни нашей страны. От всей души поздравляю и ветеранов, и самых дебютантов, молодых. Виктор Васильевич, вам слово.
Но мы чрезвычайно рады, что эта победа и является и к нашему международному празднику 1 мая и 9 мая, который весь советский народ будет отмечать. Мы очень рады и горды, что оправдали то огромное доверие, которое оказано было нам всем выступать здесь на чемпионате мира. И мы постарались все сделать, как я в прошлый раз сказал, для того, чтобы добиться этой победы. И ребята, я думаю, что показали сегодня очень хороший матч и достойный всяких похвал.
Спасибо большое, примите.